Obi-Doo, it's everyone's favorite Boomer and vintage lens enthusiast, and today we're going to revisit, after a long spell, the Tamron AF 17-50mm f2.8 IF aspherical ED XR DI2 SP. This is on the Rebel T1i, which means it's a Canon EF mount, but this lens comes in a Nikon F mount, maybe a Pentax K mount, who knows, maybe it came in an M42. Oh no, M42 doesn't have AF, so forget about it. It's only for cameras that have AF. They have a new version that has a vibration control, but this is an older one without it. They cost more, even on the used market. So I went for this. It has a good reputation. It is. It has excellent sharpness. The autofocus does hunt it like and then snapped in. I took a whole bunch of pictures. I only got one fallout from autofocus failure because I hit the shutter button too quick, and you know, I didn't frame it properly. So it wasn't the fault of the lens, it was my fault. But I went to the park. It was really cold. It was still part of April where I live, where it was chilly. I got up in the morning, it was like in the mid-40s, which means there was no bugs. Because I went back to the park like 10 days later, and it was like 55 degrees at the same time in the morning, and I had to abort my mission because there were too many bugs. So I went on a different trail. I went on the Lake Loop Trail, and I only got like a third of the way because it went down into a swamp, and they did have a wooden bridge over. But one end at a wooden bridge, it was all, the water was a couple inches deep, and I wasn't dressed properly. I did meet a guy on a bicycle that says he went through it all. I looked at his feet, and his shoes didn't look wet at all. And his back, he had one of those mountain bikes without fenders. I didn't see like water splashing on it, marks on his back. So maybe he bushwhacked it or did something, I don't know. Anyway, I still had a good walk. It was probably over 90 minutes. And this park, the Bailiwick of Bevferwick, it has rocks and blocks and boulders and cliffs, or the remnants of cliffs, or the rounded hillocks now. And some of the rocks, they all look like they were split in half by lightning, or maybe some giant came by with a club and whacked them and then split them. Or what was it, from the force of earthquakes or the glaciers or something. So of course I wanted to document this. I mean, the whole park is a theme, just like if you like to listen to Bach, you know, you say, I listen to one Bach concerto, that's it, nothing else. Or I listen to AC/DC and I don't have to listen to anything else because it's all the same, right? It's not. It's not the same. It's the same but different. So I like it. I live 10 minutes away. It takes an easy hike. I see all sorts of weird stuff. Some parts are more overgrown than others. This all used to be part of a iron furnace from 200 years ago. So I'm sure they clear-cutted everything to make charcoal to run the furnace. And the growth we're seeing is second or third generation after that. Who knows? And there must have been some forest fires there too. So at any rate, what we're going to do is look at the slideshow, and you could decide. I picked this lens up maybe 2 years ago for somewhat over $100, and I thought it was a bargain, only because the optical quality is so good and it's fully functional. Cosmetically, well, even cosmetics is acceptable too. So it wasn't like I got totally ripped off and nothing worked. So, but let's look at the slideshow, and you could decide, because I went from near to far. Of course, I stuck to aperture f8. I varied the ISO a little bit. I let the camera pick the shutter speed. I kept it fast enough to eliminate unintentional camera movement. So let's just jump right into the slideshow, and then made in Japan, cool. So and I have newfound respect for Tamron, without a doubt. I think some Tamron lenses are made in Vietnam now, but maybe they'll go back to Japan, because I'm doing this in 2025 and there's all this tariff business. But enough of that, let's look at some pictures. So I went to the Bailiwick of Bevferwick, 1,000-acre park, and I took the Lake Loop Trail. just to be different. It's 1,000 acres. I should take some other trail besides the one I'm always on. And I'm using the Tamron 17 to 50 millimeter constant f2.8 on the Canon T1i, and it's a fine combination without a doubt. And I could recommend this lens in any flavor. Of course, it's Tamron. You know, it comes in Canon, Nikon, and Pentax, and probably some other lesser known brands. And I got it at KH for 125 bucks, and it was a good choice. Excellent. Of course, the new version comes with VC, and they cost more new, but I gave up on new. Say, with the money I saved by buying this used lens, I could buy at least one other lens and maybe two. So that's how you want a collection of lenses that you buy used. And occasionally you're going to get a dog, without a doubt. It does from close to far. See, here's a close-up of these fungi on this tree. And all the rocks have these clefts in it. You know, like there's... what did that? Was it some sort of a lightning strike? Was it weakness in the rock? But they're all like that. And they flake off at the right angles. And it looks like someone chiseled them. Some big giant came along and was chiseling them. And then he forgot to finish his sculpture or something. That's what it looks like. And there's one big erratic like this. And underneath, maybe the glacier came down. And this is sort of like at the edge where the glacier was. And it just sort of jumbled everything up without moving it around too much. I mean, look at these angles. They're all, none of them are like parallel or perpendicular to the ground. It's like everything's all, blocky like this. So it's probably a combination of glaciers from 10 or 20,000 years ago, and then the untold millennia of, erosion over generations of human lifetime. I don't know, maybe you weren't humans around when this stuff happened. I don't know. So I just like it. It's real picturesque. It's quaint. It's mellow. And, I don't live by the Himalayas or Yellowstone or Sequoia National Park or, the Kenya Rift or the pyramids. I live 10 minutes away from this. And I like it. And I use it as a test bed for all these lenses. And you could see. I mean, if it could take a sharp picture of a rock, you could take a sharp picture of a building or your spouse or kids or something. And it's colorful, without a doubt. It's a nice lens. And you can get them cheap used. And if you get like the old version, now the old version has the same optical formula. They just slapped the vibration control on it. That's all. So save your bucks, buy used. Off of eBay, the superstores in New York City. Maybe you got a local camera shop that's got something used. And what I do is I always peruse these sites over and over again until something pops up. I say, oh, look at that. I'm going to grab that. That's cheap. And usually get a range from excellent or like new all the way down to ugly. And then, depending how much money you want to save or what you're willing to put into it, it's up to you what to get. But you can't go wrong with the Tamron 17 to 50 millimeter constant f2.8, without a doubt. Autofocus work back and forth from near to far. It only hunted it like twice, and then it would lock in. But not all the time, just some of the time. Of course, it's made out of plastic, but it was nice plastic, and it only seemed slightly cheesy. And I don't know how old this lens is, and it held up. Of course, I'm going to use it more because I leave it on the Canon T1i, and when I'm in the mood to use it, I just grab it and go. And there's whole hills filled with this. Some of them are more eroded than others, and others are more steep and have more of a sheer face. But it's all jumbled up, and I would love to explore this stuff if it was colder out. Like say it was in the 30s and there's snow on the ground. You don't have to worry about biting insects or snakes or bears because they'll all be dead or hibernating. And you can see it's the spring and everything's just starting to sprout out. Oh, in the summertime, you do not want to be by this swamp. It'll be nothing but a bug fest, and you're going to be dinner for them. Clouds of them. You need the beekeeper outfits to walk through this park, these sections of the swamp. Yeah, if we get like a 6 month drought, yeah, maybe you could get by. But you know, they're with the avian flu around, because I have seen dead birds like raptors at this park. Oh, this is the bridge. That's the good end. I was standing by the bad end where the water, see the water, it was that deep on the bad end, and that stopped my progress, and I had to backtrack. But you know, I figure if the birds have avian flu and all those bugs bite the birds and then they bite you, you're going to get avian flu. So you got to keep that in mind. Of course, down by the lake is more civilized. I guess they spray and stuff. I don't know. And in the summer, the flies are there, and then the people on vacation, they're just as bad as the bugs. They're like locusts too. You know, the parking lot gets filled up, and they have to put a sign saying no more entry, and if they stay there until closing, and everyone goes there and acts stupid. Oh, I'm at the park. I could be an idiot, you know, and it's like people at Walmart except at the park. So I try to avoid that. I'm sort of a recluse and a hermit, a hikikomori. That's what they say in Japan, and a retired hikikomori. And look at the color gradations on it. That's how accurate color. That little splash of orange, brown, the green, and the gray texture of the bark. And, you know, there's a lot of trees. Oh, this used to be like I had an iron furnace, and they needed charcoal to run the iron furnace, and all this had to be clear cut. I mean, this whole park had to be clear cut to feed the furnace. And then you see the trees are only all about a certain size, and there's no old growth here at all. But, you know, it's to fight the British during the Revolutionary War or something. Or maybe in the 1800s, maybe it's for the Civil War. But, you know, the environment is not the natural environment. Now, I don't think they did strip mining and they ripped everything up and jumbled it up. I don't think they did that. But I really don't know much of the history of this place. I know the necromancer lived there, and the Bulpington, the Bulp, had a battle with them to expel him from here, and then it was spiritually cleansed, so to speak, and then you know, all sorts of strange, unnatural things stopped happening, and then people moved in. Here's, look at these rocks; they're all cleaved like that. Maybe it's the material and the way it was formed, and it left natural weakness in the rock, but. And then a lot of it has these flowy marks, like what was that, from water, the glacier, ice? I don't know, can't say. It's interesting to walk through and check out. You know, it looks like you might have been a sphinx once, but it got eroded away. And this looks like a face, some sort of face. There's to check it out, you must see a face. And, well, I highly recommend this lens. Tamron 17 to 50 millimeter f2.8. You should really go get one, add it to your kit.